Welcome to where the furniture isn't always the best, but them views, they are amazing.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 13th floor where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views are amazing. And we might actually have to change that now because you all see our furniture. And we'll talk to you about how we got this in a second here. But for those of you who might be tuning in for the first time, it's crazy that we've had a 2-year hiatus and we are back. But if you're tuning in for the first time, let me tell you what this is and what it's not.
Let him have it, King.
When you tune into the 13th floor, what you are going to get, you're going to get the views and the opinions and the experiences of Black men. Now, for the 13th floor's sake, you're going to get the views, opinions, of experiences of whoever we have on our show. All right. So what it's not one of these podcasts where we get together and we talk about women and we bash women and we talk about women in a negative way. Do we talk about women on this show? Sometimes, but it's never from a negative standpoint. Do we have women guests on this show? Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'm almost willing to say majority of the guests we've had on this show have been women. And if it's not the majority, it's probably a 50-50 split. So what I encourage you to do is I encourage you to keep tuning in, subscribe, follow. If you really want to understand the viewpoints of now 4 Black men who, if all of us were to stop doing this tomorrow, if all of us stopped being on this earth tomorrow, they would mostly say that we were successful and that we had achieved a lot of things in our time here on this earth. So tune in if you want to just kick back and have fun with us. We do have a lot of fun here, and I'm gonna go ahead and introduce the guys so that the fun can begin, because it starts before we start rolling and it continues all the way through, and it usually keeps going after. So for those of you watching via YouTube, you see just about everybody has the 13th floor on a wall or something behind them, and you can see it. It's nice. Unfortunately, they got the size wrong for mine, so I have to move my whole head
right for yours.
so you can see my 13th floor. There it is right there. All right. In no particular order, as usual, hanging with the Joneses. So Brett Jones, welcome back. What's happening, man?
I'm cool, man. Down here in Bossier City, right outside of Shreveport, Louisiana. It's been kind of a crazy work trip. I traded one batch of snow for what may be another in a couple of days. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll get home this weekend and enjoy some family time, or maybe I'll get home next Monday and have to deal with a angry wife. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, man, I'm good. I'm excited to be back with the fellas and get to some stuff.
All right, man. All right, and we'll come back to you at some point because we want to catch up on just a couple highlights from everybody's life for the last 2 years, and go from there. Mr. Fresh himself, what's going on?
Vaya con Dios, mi ho.
He's a little rusty.
The fresh one is back, baby. I got my government name up in the corner and everything. I mean, we just out here living life. So much has changed in 2 years. I guess we'll catch up in a bit.
Yeah, we'll catch up in a bit. But glad you're here. And then you all know him. You'll hear him in a second. The guy that doesn't like to talk, but if you talk about the right thing, he will talk. BJ, what's going on?
All good, baby. We here. It's 2 years later, but hey, we still standing. Got a lot of stuff to talk about, but hey, it's this last 2 years has been eye-opening in a lot of different realms. And I know we're gonna touch on a lot of stuff tonight. So I'm excited to be back with you guys. Like this is, I really realized I've been looking for this. This is my therapy, y'all. Seriously. Um, we talk about the viewpoints of black men, but really it's just us getting on here sharing stuff and just being real and open. Like don't have many opportunities to do that in life. So this I miss this. So I'm glad this is back. I'm glad we're here right now. Whenever we can do this and get this out, like I'm all here for it. So let's make it happen, baby.
All right, all right. Hey, Mama Jones. So for those of you that followed our show in the past and you may know us personally, you know that we've had a lot of brothers on this show that we've had over the years. And if you don't know, there's 250 or so episodes out there that you can go back and listen to. But one of our chief contributors and brothers that were part of the show, Arthur Faison, is no longer with us. Wow, you all have missed a lot in 2 years. So let's just say that Arthur got diagnosed with cancer a little over a year ago. Actually, no, a year ago. A year ago, and was putting up a really good fight, and then lost his battle to cancer. So he is no longer with us. And we will always remember our brother. We refer to him as Art. Some people call him Arthur. You've heard us refer to him many times on this particular show as the BFBG, the big friendly black guy.
Yes.
And we can tell you that he has left just a beautiful memory of life that will live on for a very long time. And there are many things that he brought into this world that only he could, just in the form of just being one of the most kind people you will ever meet in your life, one of the most generous people you will ever meet, being a great father, a great husband, a great brother of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, just so many different things, a great employee of multiple companies,
Right.
where
Great
his
boss.
where his presence is definitely being missed, and we will miss him here on the 13th floor. In his parting way, he left us, enough money to buy a whole floor in the building, so that we now all have corner offices that you can see, and that's kind of what's happening there. He was our chief marketing officer for the 13th floor, so we're very well branded now, and we appreciate him. And I think that's probably one of the things we need to add. We need to add a picture of him in our background somewhere. That'd be pretty cool. But anybody else want to say anything? I've been a part of 2 services in 2 different cities and spoke at both of those. And there's a lot I could say, but I want to open up the floor to the rest of the brothers here.
Nah, it's one of those things. It's still hard to accept and understand. Those all our brothers, and it's been death is just such an interesting thing to have to deal with. Period. And the waves and the it's never a settling, but it's just the waves of the real emotion coming in and out. And so it's yeah, just riding the roller coaster, coming to acceptance, but still, I guess trying to absorb and live through the lessons that he brought us.
Yo, that void is something I still go back to and notice in different things in my personal life, but in just conversations in our group chats where Art would always chime in, and he may not view stuff or respond for like 2 or 3 days based on what he had going in life, but when he would do it, and you miss those interactions and everything. But it hit me again New Year's Eve, like thinking about going into 2025 and like my boy's not here going into this year now. Um, and it was just a reflection point, like, what do we need to do to make sure his legacy lives on? But also thinking about his wife and his boys. Had a chance to interact with them a couple times. I've been up to Atlanta and just keeping in contact with them, keeping them in prayer, but also in support, whatever they need to ensure that they understand that their father, her husband, was a major part of all of our lives. And I mean, we're gonna miss him no matter what. Um, those, like I said, the waves come and go, but at the same time, it's like we know that his time here was impactful, and that's the main thing. Who can ask for more? Um, like many years ago, one of the things I talked about with success wasn't like what you do, is like how many people are better off because you lived. And I'll
Yeah.
consider Art a very, very, very successful person because of that definition.
I think one of the things that helps in a sense cope is seeing the amount of love and amount of people that were at all of the services and you know all of that energy that was in the room that really lets you know exactly that how many people he impacted, how many people you know he really meant something to.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult for me to talk about Art, and I probably knew him. Well, actually, I know I knew him the least amount of time of the bunch of us, but um, I think his the the thing I remember I keep in memory of him the most is how much he touched people. Art had a very large spirit. He was a large man. You know, he was 6'4", whatever, but um, he had a very large, loving, and joyful spirit. And if you knew him, you knew he was genuinely that person. Some of the things, you know, Art, you know, interactions, just some of the stuff that Art, you know, kind of poured into my life over, you know, the very short time span. And this was probably close to what, maybe 10 years, 10, 11 years. Just the amount of influence and impact that he had, and then seeing it at his service across so many different people, you know, whether it's work, home, community.
Every
He,
aspect of his life, it was
eh,
consistent.
yeah, man. So you know, it's difficult when you lose or you feel like you lost something um, like that in a person. And then it's doubly hard for me because Art wasn't the only person that you know I experienced that loss for, especially due to cancer within a such short period of time. So he, it, it, cancer is just a terrible thing, you know, and to watch people have to you know go through that, it's it takes a very large mental toll. But I'm glad to see. I was glad to see, you know, his kids, you know, and how strong they are. His family, his wife, EJ, how she handled, you know, things, and just keeping them lifted up in prayer and keeping his memory, you know, lifted and present at all times. And I still, you know, keep things around to keep Art, you know, present with me. Carol shared something in our group chat the other day. You know, subtle things as the diamond on a paper towel that you know kind of you know bring you back to you know Art. So you know, all in all, you know, I'm blessed and glad to have known him and been touched, you know, by his life, and you know, just want to you know hold on to that.
And shout out to Kay as well, because brother, you shouldered a lot o- over the months from the time we found out being there, being one of the few of us that are there centrally located.
Yep.
You shouldered a lot, brother, and being able to stand up there on both services, at both services, excuse me, and relay the message in a way to the crowd that was in attendance, that supported, that kept his spirit alive. And even though people were sad, kept people thinking ahead about what was his impact and then what they were going to do next. Like, big shout out to you, brother, because that's what everybody needed in a time, and you stepped up in a big way. Shout out to Omar as well. Another one, the brothers that have been around for UN for a while, who helped out with a lot of things
Who's been
locally.
on the show?
Yeah.
Yep.
But Kay, like you really stepped up, man. And then we talk about like nobody. If people didn't know that y'all weren't blood brothers, nobody would have been able to tell because the way you stepped up there, man, it just stood there by the family side. Like you were coordinating stuff that really is like I don't know how it would have got done if you didn't step in and to help support. Not that it wouldn't have got done, but
Mhm.
you helped coordinate and keep people together through a difficult time. So shout out to you, brother.
Man, it is always amazing to watch K work. It is just always also depressing. He is not getting paid what he needs to be doing that
To make the
type of stuff. Yeah, like I mean,
word.
it's we can go back forever in different things and in scenarios and situations, and that is just what K does. Like holds it down.
I appreciate that. I don't want y'all to diminish the role that you play, not just in, the situation with our brother Art, but um, many of those situations that you are mentioning, you all continue to be rocks in my life that I can lean on and know that if I fall, y'all got me. So I can go out here and take these risks and, you know, be out there because I know I got y'all. Um, so yeah, man, I appreciate it. And that's what it's about. Um, and you all just got to hear a little bit about what this podcast is about. As I told you, there are certain things that this podcast is, and there are things that it is not. So uh, this isn't that situation where people talk a good game, but have no idea how to play the game. And when I say play the game, I'm talking about play the game of life. These brothers that you're going to encounter on here and guests that we bring on here, we're not supposed to exist. Somebody just asked me the other day, why'd you all call your podcast the 13th floor? Because it's not supposed to exist. And Black men like us, we're not supposed to exist. We're not the ones that get spoken about in the news and the media and on social media. But we're here. We're here. And we're happy to be here to share with you all. And we just wanted to take that time to acknowledge Arthur Lee Faison, Jr., Arthur Faison Jr., actually. And we just want to acknowledge him and listen. We said a lot of good things about him. He was also a tremendous son
Yes.
to his mother and
Mama Pat,
to
yes.
to his dads. And I mean, that guy, I don't know how he did it all and did it all in a way that seemed so easy.
Yeah, like it
But
was coordinated.
that being said, you always hear people say, check on your strong friends.
Mhm.
And I think a couple things that we want the listeners to do. Go to the doctor. Go to the doctor. And this is not a situation where he didn't go to the doctor, but go to the doctor. And no matter what they say, go get a second opinion. Do that. All right. Do your annual checks. And check on your strong friends, the people that on the outside look like they've got it all together. Those are the ones that these type of situations happen to, where they were here, they were strong, and then the next minute they were not. So if there's two things that we could actually do, it would be those two things. And with that, we're going to transition a little bit because that brother would be mad at us if we just stayed in this energy in this space. So we're going to get to some laughing and some jokes, and I want y'all to understand, don't think that we're being disrespectful. We're actually being highly respectful by turning to some laughter and some jokes here. So, man, I don't know who to come back to first to talk about the last 2 years. Maybe, yeah, no, not me. Who, you know what? Fresh, I think you
I did
have the
it.
most drastic changes, I think, out of all of us. So give us Give us some milestones from your last 2 years.
And I've gained a whopping and amazing 2 inches to my beard since the last time that we shot.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Only 2 inches, that's it?
I definitely think
Yeah, 1 inch every year, baby. You know what I'm saying?
exactly an inch a year of just awesomeness. But either way, no, since it's so wow. I think possibly last show my mom had just passed away and I had just gotten engaged. And I think my wife, well, at the time, my fiance's mother had not passed away, but she has passed away in that time, in the last 2 years. Then my daughter was born. Then I got married in Jamaica, which seems like I'm about to say, and so my daughter was born the first year, and then we got married the next year. My daughter's now about to turn 2 in like 10, 15 days,
Yeah.
24th. What is that from now? So yeah, I'm about to say ring, babies.
Yeah.
Trying to just, scratch and survive. I got some new equipment in the back, new mixes on deck. Go check that SoundCloud. Don't be crazy. Don't be stupid. Get out there.
Yeah, we'll drop the SoundCloud, and we'll drop the link in anywhere that we can drop the link where you can find our podcast. How about that? You'll definitely find it in the notes for the YouTube.
There we go.
For sure. And we'll drop it on IG as well and Facebook. I think we still have both of those. Somebody,
yes, all of that.
Somebody's been paying the bill somewhere. We appreciate it.
Say Art put that advance in.
Yeah, right. B Jones, Brett Jones to be specific.
Which one?
I say that did
Right.
zero.
Before you move fresh though, but like don't downplay, like man, like again, baby girl's doing great. Jamaica, man, y'all had great family and friends out there, man. It was a great time. So shout out to you all for just getting out there, just doing what you all need to do. And those, I know a lot of people wanted to come, but again, those people that came, man, it was great to be there, great to be by your side, man, and to see you too.
Hey, F all of y'all people who didn't make it.
Y'all
tell you something. If nothing, I want to say Brett about to leave. Seriously though, I am one thankful. I definitely had everybody who was in attendance say that it was one of the best weddings they had the opportunity to attend. We definitely tried to keep. Oh, I done lost everybody.
We lost your video.
Yeah, you're frozen. Somebody screenshot that.
And there we go.
Oh man, you lucky, man. I didn't get it.
I got him.
You got him? Oh, perfect.
You got it froze. You got the shot.
That's what. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna
Perfect.
put that over off the iPad a little bit later.
Thank you, sir. That will be used.
Oh, blood.
Hey man, but and we're not going to get deep into it, but again, you never know what's going on with a person, right? So Fresh, like talk about somebody that was just surrounded by darkness and just like, what in the world is happening in my life? And man, just the perseverance, sorry, Brett, the perseverance and just the ability to keep moving forward. And the way that you've just come out and just let your light shine, man, I just got to give you your props, man. And I know there's times where it's still kind of dark, but you just keep bringing the light. And that's it, man. Just keep doing it.
I appreciate y'all brothers. Is it just as you say what you're doing what you do, it's the feeling is mutual. It's funny because only in missing it did I realize how helpful the podcast was during that time. Like, I haven't even been able to go back and listen to those moments because it's almost crazy to think about all the stuff I was going through back then and how, the clock was still turning I was just looking at pictures. Was it pre-pandemic? I was pretty much sleeping on like couch cushions on my mom's floor. Like it's crazy now. It's crazy.
Yeah, and rats coming to spoon with you.
Man, I literally was killing. I have pictures of killing rat like
Have one of the joints run through
yes,
the
they came through that's how we found out they were there. My mom was telling me that she thought she heard something, and then I was in there, and actually no, I was out in the daggone shed. You know, I was doing Jesus, man. Think about this. I was doing live streams,
Yeah.
DJ mixes from a shed, sweating my balls off. Um, I remember she called to me saying she heard something. And I ran in, and like right, they were running from my room into like the kitchen, and like where there wound up being a hole under like the cabinets in the oven. It was the weirdest, most crazy, frightening. But yeah, I trapped and killed me about 4 rats. Um, it was, yeah. What a time to be alive. Makes me
What a
very thankful
time.
for this amazing setup here. I mean, geez, could you believe it?
Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk?
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Who
Speakers
would have
everywhere,
thought?
baby.
All right. Can Brett Jones tell his story now?
I don't have a story to tell, man.
Hey, he gave you time to listen. Please don't downplay it, man. You've had an interesting
Journey
2 years
well.
too.
Yup, a journey as well, brother.
Yeah, man. I think 2 years ago, you go from living with your sister-in-law and you know what I'm saying, trying to recreate, your living situation and build with the family and everything to we got a townhouse, and then we got a new baby, and then we got a new house, and then we almost had a new dental office and everything. So there was a lot of elevation over the last couple of years. Not to say that there hasn't been a lot of growth and opportunity, because what I realized is that going into the second year of being married is when you really get tested. And so,
Thanks.
we go, hey man, I'm only passing it on. I crossed the bridge, so I'm looking back, man, for that fair hair youth. So hey, but you'll get through it. But yeah, growing in the marriage, the family's growing, now. So we 4 deep. I got 3 boys, 1 girl, the oldest, Nia, who is prospering now, which we'll probably get into, in future episodes, how the babies grow. But yeah, man. And then last year being I guess, the ultimate roller coaster. We talked about art. I lost my father-in-law, or Chris lost her father, which was a big hit to the family. At the same time as we were trying to elevate the family, and we purchased our first home. So, it was a crazy time, crazy summer. But all in all, a lot of good came from it, because we are now in a very, very positive, humble space, manifesting a lot of things, and just looking forward to what 2025 may bring, because we are steadily ascending. And as you go through the rough times, it's really important to acknowledge the wins, because it's all progress at the same time. And I think that's the biggest thing that's the biggest thing I've gotten over the last 2 years. We were just talking about it, that it's all progress. It might not look like it from a micro level, but when you step back and look at everything that has transpired, like when I look at where we started from and where we are now, like I couldn't be more more happy with the trajectory of everybody. So I'm good, man. Can't complain.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. And again, just another person just thriving and has ideas and stacks those ideas on top of one another and goes after one at a time, sometimes two at a time, and
Sometimes
just
four at a time, but
sometimes
that's
four at
my
a
way.
time. And yeah. So, as I've keep recommending to you, you should get some other hobbies outside of the house.
Yes. All men should. All people should. Have you a hobby?
Yeah, well, Brett and Chris, they have a hobby.
We was just talking about it the other day.
Yeah, we was talking about it the other day. So I was trying to tell them you got to find another hobby. Otherwise, you're going to get that fifth player for the basketball team.
We
keep up with that same hobby. All right. Before it goes too far, well, let's clean it up.
Clean it up.
Perfect.
BJ.
BJ. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, because my life is boring. We clean up real quick.
Yeah, throw some holy water on these guys, man. What's wrong with you, Carol?
2 years. So personally, the growth has been, I think, like you said, there's been tests, there's been all that's going on, but all the lessons I've learned over the last 2 years. And then going into this new year, really thinking about not replaying those things, wins, losses, whatever it is, but how you build from it, right? A lot more of trying to build and let go instead of building and hold on. Like y'all know, I'm guilty of holding on to stuff for years, organizations, groups, things that I've been part of, and like that's been my identity, right? Like you just said, hobbies. Like we've talked about this many times. Like I do a lot of stuff, but I do a lot of stuff for other people, and it's really time to start doing stuff for me. And I say me, my family's include my initial like local families included in that me. But at the same time, really is my kids, man. Like the things that they do and the things that I'm trying to let go and let them just be. At this stage, so my oldest this past June graduated high school, so Mason has graduated and out in the world now. A lot of we'll get, and that's crazy in itself. Um, we'll get probably another episode about like what is he doing, what's he pursuing, everything like that. But again, just to see him on a daily basis, just the way he's attacking life. Again, much different than me. It was you graduate, you go into college, you go into military, or you get out the house. That's my three options I had. Like I don't say that in a negative way, but my dad instilled that in me early on. So I knew I wasn't going to the military because I wasn't cut out for that. Moving out the house, like eventually, yeah, but college was like a no-brainer. So me finish up and knowing where I was going right away, but he has a different head on his shoulder. And trying to sit back and let him find his way has been refreshing to see, but also like taught me a lot of stuff as well. And then the twins, man, they're just again. So it's been 2 years out. They've been on two more international mission trips since the last time we've been there. So they've been to Peru, and then this year, two went to Paraguay, and the other one went to England and Spain. So again, in those 2 years, those two summer trips for them, and just letting them see the world and come back, and you can see that their vision of what they know is possible, what knows out there the rest of the world versus what's happening in this United States that we live in is like there's much more out there and much more possibilities. To see their eyes open is like that's what makes me happy. Jen and I, we're doing good. I mean, again, we're here. I mean, every relationship has its ups and downs, right? You got family stuff, external of your house that we had realized over the years is like this everything that's happening in our lives that's kind of beating on us is happening outside of our four walls.
Mm-hmm.
We had that realization of like, how do we make sure we protect this, still contribute out there, but we can't give our all out there and let this fall apart. And that's really what was going on. Everything there was. God blessed us to be able to say, I mean, again, day in, day out, there's always something, little things here, but there's nothing major going on. Everything major in our lives was happening outside of our four walls. So with that realization of like protect, build, and then let go. So that's been the biggest thing for us. Like going into this new year though, I'm really looking forward to it. Give a quick. Maddie decided she was going to switch schools her junior year, so she's actually at doing not even doing enrolled as a Broward College student. So she's going to finish out her last 2 year junior senior year at Broward College. So she'll walk away with her AA before she finishes her high school diploma actually. And then Cameron, I've become a football dad at the high school level, Brett. Like it's and this these games that people will be playing and coaching and all that stuff, it's a whole nother ball game.
Is he still on flag, or is he put the pads on?
Pads on.
Pads, baby.
Pads on, man. Yeah.
So I mean, to see the background and the conversation that happened on outside from people
that
who
boy's in high school.
Yeah.
Hey man, the NFL is promoting flag football like it's nobody's business. So I'm just I know they got pretty sure they got AAU flag leagues or something out there now.
They do it. They do the 7-on-7 camps. They do all that. But even going back to just listen to the parents that have been part of this thing since their kid has been like you were like from the small playing
Optimist on up, yeah,
up and everything, like coming and walking in now as a sophomore and junior dad of a football player, totally flipped on how I see everything and interact with stuff. So again, that's just the reality of life now though, man. Work is work. It's a process to pay the bills right now. Like Kay and I, we'll talk about that another day. We still working on getting out of that joints. This process is I refer to it as my benefits payer. That's what it is right now. I get my benefits in my paycheck to make sure I can have time to do what else I want to do.
Yep.
And that's what life is right now. But I'm loving it. Like I'm not complaining about any of it. So we're good. One quick thing, I did have the opportunity to go to the Philippines this past November for about a week for a missions conference myself. And that international trip was like a game changer for me to visualize what's going on outside the United States. We have such a limited view, and everything we hear, most of the stuff we hear about outside the US right now is from the negative standpoint or this, that, another is limited. But once you get there, boots on the ground and see what's happening in the world, like I don't know if I want to be here no more.
Yep.
Man, you ain't lying.
Like seriously. So I'm in a good place, man. I'm in a good place.
Folks always leaving stuff out. And pretty soon here, there's a very strong possibility that we got to refer to you as Professor Jones.
Oh, yeah, I did leave that out. Because Allie, I'm waiting for them to sign the final paper. But
I said pretty soon here, there's a possibility.
Okay.
I gave the out.
Thank you for bringing that up because I am excited. I can actually I have gotten excited over the last week once we kind of talked about it for the last month or so. But as of next Wednesday, your boy will be teaching his first adjunct class down at the University of Miami. Undergraduate in a teaching and learning, so school education. Got a connection there. There's the chair of the department now. We were talking about life and things we've been doing. She said, "You should come teach a class." And I thought she was joking. And then like a week later, I got an email saying, "So about that conversation, here's what I'm thinking, and here's what you do. Can you do it?" And I looked at the syllabus from before. I'm like, "Yeah, I do that every day now anyway." So your boy will be Professor Jones as a start next week for the first semester. One class, one night a week down at the U. So
Got to start.
I'm excited about it. 20 years later, because I graduated technically December 04. So 20 years later, 20 years later, I'm back as professor. It's kind of crazy in itself to say that out loud, but I'm looking forward to it.
What subject again?
It's teaching and learning. It's the class is multidisciplinary methods. So interdisciplinary methods. So basically for elementary tracked students, like basically how to look at all the subjects and think about combining everything instead of teaching it in silos and isolation.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to work on.
So there's no opportunity for us to come in there and help you teach.
Oh, there's always opportunities.
We'll figure something out.
Yes, sir.
We'll figure something out.
Yes, sir.
Look at Fresh. Fresh is excited already. He's thinking about all the things that he could say to shock these folks.
But that's important though. And I saw something, I'm never really on social media, but I saw something on social media and they were talking about privilege and how those of us who come into those spaces need to be willing and able and intentional about sharing that privilege with other folks like us to bring us into those spaces and make it more tangible. So definitely, I know DJ won't have an issue with that, but it's important. It's important.
Right, right. All right, well, that's our show. No, it's
No,
not.
no, sir.
What
No,
did
sir.
you
it's
do,
not.
Coach K?
No,
Talk
it's
about
not.
talk about leaving stuff out.
Man, listen, you brothers give so much detail. I've been sitting here the whole time. Like, how am I going to talk about my last 2 years? And what I will say, I think before you experience next level, you get challenges sent to you to verify that you are ready for that next level. And when I say challenges over the last 2 years, there's been stuff with immediate family in my household. There's been stuff with, my dad, who was experiencing some health challenges. There's been stuff at work. So every possible there was art, every possible facet of life you could think of, there's been a challenge over the last 2 years. And what I would say is it made me realize that you could be going through life in a quote unquote successful manner and you become complacent to what that is and think, well, according to traditional standards, I'm doing great. But then you get the reminder that, yeah, maybe, but this is not what God or the universe had in mind for you and what you were supposed to do. And this is nothing compared to what the life that I intended for you to live should look like. And I think I've been on a spiritual journey the last 2 years and really getting back and understanding, which is ironic, just how much noise I've allowed in my life to get in between myself and who I really am. So my last 2 years has been dark. My last 2 years has been unprecedented, let's say. And I think it was all to learn lessons about myself and understand that at some point, and this is whether you are, an individual, whether you have a family, whatever it may be, at some point you have to be selfish, what they call quote unquote selfish, about taking care of yourself and making sure that your foundation is still solid and will allow you to continue to build and elevate. So I'm sure we will hit various topics over the next few episodes for all of us, but looking forward to bringing people on somewhat of a journey of understanding and growth and realizing that, look, we've talked about a lot of challenges today. Those challenges are really lessons that are sent to us to remind us and get us closer to the people that we're supposed to be. That being said, my son, who is now 8, and if you all remember, Art's oldest son and my son are, a couple months apart. And then Art's youngest son is a year behind the 2 oldest boys. So Asher, who is 8, and I would say Namdi, who is also 8, and Arenze, who is 7. forget those numbers by years. Those jokers are like adults. And it's very interesting to watch them interact and the personalities, and just so proud of all of them. Obviously, especially proud of my son and the person that he's growing to be, and his level of intelligence is hilarious. And he constantly reminds me that he has a lot of, that he has a lot, yes, that he is me. And that's just very interesting to have somebody be an echo of your life, in their own way, though. So, we just keep it moving from there. But look, I can't say that the last 2 years have been the most enjoyable, but they've definitely been a crash course in what does life mean? What's important. So I think I'll leave it there and not give away too much, because there's so much more to come. So much more to come, and so much more that I can see clearer and understand. And Art told me I need to start dropping some speaking videos at least once a week. And I don't need that, dude. He told me that if I did not, that he would routinely find ways to scare me. And I think the last thing that you want is somebody who loves to pull pranks on somebody that can be anywhere at any given time, in any space, at any hour. That is not what you want. So
phones, all kind of stuff going on.
Yeah. So we're not gonna scare the people too much, because there's stories I could tell now that are just like, well, wait a minute, hold on. But yes. So listen, anybody else? What anybody else need anything else we need to touch? I think we need to cut here and let these people go, and we will see y'all next week. But listen, it's been 2 years. I don't even remember what day the podcast used to drop. I think it dropped on Thursdays.
Oh, I don't remember anymore, honestly.
I couldn't even lie to you. We just appreciate anybody tuned in, listening. It's been a minute, but we back up in it, baby. We just getting restarted, but it's gonna be a bigger and better journey in round 2.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. With that, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure having you here on the 13th floor, where sometimes the furniture gets upgraded, but the one guarantee that you have is that the views will always be amazing.
Welcome to where the furniture isn't always the best, but them views, they are amazing.
It's the 13th